Hi folks, and welcome to My Expanded Universe, a show where I go through the entire EU in chronological order as best I know how. Folks, it's time to start on a new series. Yeah, it's a teddy bear. What? I don't have an Ewok, so I gotta have someone here with me, right? Anyway, we just got through with an amazing Jedi Apprentice series. Now, where do we go from here? Well, folks, you got to go to the short story in the paperback of Shadowhunter by Darth Maul. It's written by James Luceno, and it basically talks about how Maul became Darth Sidious's pupil. Now, not that this really matters, but it sticks in perfect continuity with Baloney's Clone Wars. You like Baloney? No comment. Anyway. So it's actually pretty good. James Luceno is a very good author. If you do love Darth Maul, yes, this is worth your time, definitely, to read. Now, after reading that short story, it's time to go into the comic books once again. It's been a while, hadn't it? So you need to start by reading Mike Kennedy's Auroient Express. This is just a 2-issue series starring Obi Wan and Qui-Gon as they're on a luxury cruiser that's out of control. It's going to, crash, and they have to save the liner and all of its passengers. Now, how does this compare to the Jedi Apprentice novels? It doesn't. You got to forget about that. This is just a short comic book story about Qui-Gon and Obi Wan. If you love Qui-Gon, get it. If you love Qui-Gon and Obi Wan, get it. If you don't really care about them, don't get it. Not much happens in the story. They're just saving the space train, I mean, it was fine. It wasn't very memorable for me, especially after reading all these Jedi Apprentice books. I love anything that shows the relationship between Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. So for me reading it, it was just a little bit something extra, another extra adventure that happened to the both of them, but not as good as the other ones I've heard about. Speaking of the next series, you should pick up the 4-issue comic book series by Ryder Wenham called Qui-Gon and Obi Wan, Last Stand at Ord Mantell. This series, it takes place about 5 years before Episode 1, as they both go to investigate a missing freighter that leads them to Ord Mantell, and there's a villain there called Taxer Sundown. Now, being a 4-issue series, of course, they have to have a showdown with Sundown. And I love the name Taxer Sundown. I think that's so cool. Ryder Wenham, in my opinion, does a much better job than Mike Kennedy did writing Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. It's a little bit more believable, their relationship. This came out, I think it was a year or two after the movie, so we still wanted to know more about Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, and the books weren't out then, or there wasn't that many if they were out. So this comic book series basically explained a whole new chapter in the life of Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. Now, of course, Obi-Wan's getting much older since it takes place just a few years before Episode 1, but I think the feel is still there. That Master and Padawan relationship was dealt with. I like the overall story. Like I said, better than the Auroient Express. And the Auroient Express, as you don't know, is a play on the Orient Express, which was fine too. I enjoyed that as well. Anything with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, I guess I enjoy. But that comic book by Ryder is definitely worth your time to see. Okay, you gonna say anything? Anything about Star Wars? Aren't you really excited about all this? He's kind of a quiet guy. Anyway, folks, that's all the time I have for today. I will see you next week with another video.
Well, what do you think? It's all yours if you want it.